Ken Carson just released I think it was his debut album, X. And I think this is actually a pretty good album, of course, with any Ken Carson song or album. You're going to get really good production. I think production on this entire album is really, really good. And I think there are some standout tracks in my opinion. I think MDMA with him and Destroyed Lonely is really good. Please Don't Blow My High is also a really good song for me. And there's a lot of other ones like Go, Same Thing, Murder Music, Delinquent, Get Rich or Die, and even The End. I think those are all the standout tracks. But here's just like a track by track thing. We're going to start off with intro. I think this was pretty good. The production is solid and Ken like performs well. And it's just like all about Ken bragging about his newfound fame and all these like women and what he can do to change everyone's lives and everything like that. I think that's a pretty solid song. Then we go to New, which I'm not a big fan of. It's just more bragging, and the production's also pretty good, but the chorus, it's kind of just like boring. But I just think it's kind of like a boring and just not an amazing song. The next one, Gems, I think is basically just like a cut, copy and paste version of of New before it, which is really weird because the production sounds very similar, and just Ken, he doesn't sound that good on that one. But then you go to Nobody. I think the production's really interesting, but it works well. And then like Ken, he kind of like the auto-tune doesn't sound that good on Nobody. But I think those first four songs are kind of some of the worst on the entire album. Then you Go, which I think this one sounds pretty good. The production's, of course, good. And Ken doesn't really sound like himself. It's more of like a Destroy Lonely type thing. But I think overall this one works really well. And just overall, like when he goes a lot more upbeat and quicker, I think it works, pretty well. Then we go to MDMA, which I think is probably the best song in this entire album. And I think the production goes crazy on this one. Ken's crazy on the front half of the track. And I think he sounds a lot better when he's rapping on like faster beats. And then Lone sounds crazy on the backside. But either way, this song is really good. And it's just like Ken and Lone on their A games. And it's just overall a really good song. And then X, I think, is also pretty good. The production's solid on that, but I'm not a big fan of like the Ken trying to like have his vocals sound like a lot higher, like he tries to go high pitched, which, the chorus is catchy though, and it could sound a lot better on like more than one listen. I mean, I only listened to this one time just to get this review out, but I still think it is a pretty good song, and overall, it did work well. Then we go to Please Don't Blow My High, which I definitely think is my second favorite or favorite track on this entire album. I think the production goes crazy, and just Ken sounds really good, and it just kind of all works together. I just really like that track. Then we go to Money Hunt, which I think the production, again, is good, but the song is short, and it's just like kind of like chopped up. I mean, it's nothing like bad, but it's just not really like anything special. And then we go to South Beach, which I think the production goes really hard on this one. And it just works like amazing with Ken's flow and voice. And the beat just feels like it was made for him. Like there are parts where just like it sounds like they like added stuff in after Ken rapped over it to like make it hit harder at points, which definitely sounds really good. And Ken and the producer worked really like well on this one. Then going Skits, I think the production is crazy again on this one. And Ken performs well again. The song is solid. I mean, to me, it's nothing special, but everything works well in that. Then Same Thing. I think the production is good again. And Ken's beat or voice and the beat seem to be kind of like weirdly mixed at like a point. They're kind of on like the same level, but I still think the song is really good, and it's just overall a good song even with that. Freestyle 1, I don't like at all. I mean, he uses, oh my God, he on X Games mode, which is funny, but like the low key like vibe that he uses on this song like doesn't work, and then his voice just doesn't sound good on parts. The chorus on the backside of the track does sound pretty good because it is like more of an upbeat part, but it's definitely probably the worst song on this entire album and just doesn't seem like a Ken song that much. Then Freestyle 2, we have filthy production, and the production goes hard. There's just like a weird like sound. It's like I don't really know like what you'd call it, but it like comes in at certain points and just doesn't sound that good. The performance is like also kind of like low key like Freestyle 1, so I definitely think it's like, a little weird to me, but I think it's all right. Fuck 12 is also an interesting one. The production is solid, like on all these tracks, but Ken uses like a weird voice, and it's like a really short song, so it kind of is just like kind of chopped up or whatever. I'm not really a big fan of that either. Murder Music is really good. The production is crazy, and the chorus sounds really good. I just wish Lone would have had more time on the track, but the song is still pretty good, and I still like Ken's verse on it. I just wish he would have like given more, because there's like a feature, and Lone had like, I guess he had like 8 bars, but like it's supposed to be like a 12 or like a 16 bar thing, but I think it's all right. Delinquent, I think, is also pretty solid as well. Production's good. Homicide Gang also got a short feature because they each got like 6 lines or whatever. And then Ken, I think, performs well on this. It's just like I wish he would have given more like time to his features, but it's all right. Get Rich or Die, I think the production is crazy on this one, and Ken goes hard. And I also like Ken on the more upbeat like vibe. So I think this one works well and it sounds good. Then Turn Up, the production goes hard, and Ken like flows over, and the more like upbeat verses work. And then last off, we got The End, which I think is also pretty good. And it just like works well at the end of the album. But I already covered that, so if you want to, you can go check out that video. But either way, I think it's a pretty good song. And I think this album is pretty good. There definitely are some really standout tracks to me. Like I said, Please Don't Blow My High and MDMA are my 2 favorite. But I think just overall, there are like some standout tracks and some throwaway tracks. And I wish he could have cleaned it up a little bit more. But I think it is one of those things where he's not really like at a big level now. And then he needs to get some of these songs to blow up to then get to that bigger level to then make like more succinct track lists and whatever. But I still think this was a good album. So I'm going to give this one a 6 out of 10.